evidence left on the young man that was driving. But I would assume that there will be that testing done. Again, I don't know how successful it will be because of the effects of that fire.
Disculpe, por ahora sabemos si el conductor de la camioneta que iba manejando en sentido contrario era un hombre.
Se piensa que era un hombre. Johnny me puede corregir si estoy equivocado, pero yo pienso que era un hombre. No sé la edad.
I saw a comment on your post about, to your fellow deputies and about the loss. And I saw a comment from someone who seemed to know the young woman stating that she was planning on joining the patrol when she was old enough at 21. Could you talk a bit about that? I didn't even know there was an age restriction.
Sure. What my understanding is, what we've heard from the family is that she was looking to join the CERT team. And she was training toward that. So a lot of our deputies, say they want to go to patrol, the patrol side of the house. That's that cop stuff that we all joined the profession for. And so, I believe that may have been a possibility for her in the future. There is an age cutoff. So they can't actually, you have to be 21 by the time you graduate the patrol academy. And so you have to be at least 20 and a few months age to apply, so that way, while you spend time in the 8-9 month academy, you'll be 21 by the time you graduate, so that you can apply, or so that you can be licensed. She was just about that right age to apply. I don't believe she had applied yet to cross over to the patrol side of the house, but certainly CERT was one of the things that she was trying for. A lot of the young people in our agency, and I pride myself on the fact that we put, with some of the changes we've made to our processes, we put them in total control of their career. They can cross over to patrol almost as soon as they're old enough to. They can put in for all these jobs within the job, as I call it. And a lot of them just, I want to do it all. And I'm all for letting them experience as much of this profession as they can. With this young lady, the thing that her dad wanted me to know and wanted me to convey to everybody is that she just really was proud to work here. That was one of the first things he said to me yesterday when we first spoke by phone, is she was just really proud to wear the uniform and proud to work here. So that's that. As a dad of two, young ladies that have a bright future ahead of them as well, I could certainly see that. It makes me proud as her boss. It makes me proud to hear that as well, that we provided a workplace to her that made her proud to belong. Reminded the family that not only, is Meredith a member of this family, they are members of the family as well. And once you're a member of this family, you're always. Add to that they've also got another son, Meredith's brother, who's also a deputy with us.
Disculpe, ¿podría repetir esa información?
Sí, ¿cuál parte? ¿Todo lo que dije?
Sí, nos interesa más saber cuáles eran los planes de Meredith y también la parte donde dijo que también tiene un hermano.
Sí, ella, los planes que nosotros, el papá nos dijo a nosotros, fue que ella quería ser miembro de nuestro equipo de CERT, o sea, el equipo de tácticas especiales dentro de la cárcel. Ella estaba haciendo ejercicio y preparándose para ese equipo. También nos han dicho que ella quería ser miembro de un oficial de patrulla, pero también a muchos oficiales jóvenes les interesa eso también. Yo les aconsejo a todos que prueben de todo un poco en esta agencia. Hay muchas oportunidades por jóvenes así como Meredith. Y el papá me dijo a mí, y quería que les dijera a todos, que ella estaba bien orgullosa de ser oficial con nuestra agencia. A mí también me da mucho orgullo que logramos tenerla a ella como miembro de nuestra familia. Y les recuerdo a la familia de ella que también ellos son miembros de nuestra familia, especialmente con que ellos tienen otro hijo, o sea, hermano de Meredith, que también es oficial. Entonces nosotros nos vamos a concentrar en ayudarles a ellos por lo que están pasando a causa de esta muerte de esta niña.
Sheriff, ¿usted sabe si Meredith estaba manejando o era uno de los pasajeros?
Ahorita yo pienso que ella era la chofer del carro. Nos dicen que ella estaba muy orgullosa de su carro nuevo y no dejaba a nadie más manejarlo. Entonces, esa es la información que me ha llegado hasta este punto. Yo personalmente no he visto el reporte, pero es lo que me están diciendo por ahorita. Si eso cambia, entonces ahí les vamos a dar la información diferente.
Y solo
So
para
we do know
confirmar,
it was her car that was hit, Sheriff. We do
I'm
know
sorry?
it was Meredith. We do know the Mustang was Meredith's car.
Yes, sir. I believe it was Meredith's car. My understanding is that she was pretty proud of that new car, as she should have been. She worked very hard for it. She was pretty proud of that new car to the point where she wouldn't let anybody else drive it. And so right now, the information that I have, as I understand, is that she was the driver. But again, I haven't seen the report physically. If we do get something different or it leads us in a different direction, we'll certainly let you know. But for right now, that's the premise that we're operating upon.
Sheriff,
was
y
a
al
little
ser
like-
uno de sus oficiales, solo para confirmar, su despedida va a ser con los honores como usualmente se lleva a cabo, ¿verdad?
Yes, sir. Todos los honores que ella se merece como ser héroe de esta comunidad. Lo único diferente es que ella va a estar tapada con una bandera de Texas en vez de una bandera americana. La bandera americana, los únicos que se pueden presentar con esa bandera son los que son veteranos militares o si les pasa algo mientras que están trabajando, solamente cuando les pasa algo en el trabajo, entonces sí les podemos presentar la bandera americana, pero como con ella pasó cuando estaba libre del trabajo y no era veterana, entonces le presentamos una bandera de Texas a la familia. What I mentioned to him was he was asking what honors she's entitled to. She's going to get full honors, full BCSO honors, as much as the family wants, right? Of course, they're in control of this. So as much of what we have to offer is theirs. With that being said, what's typical in a situation like this is she'll get full honors if that's what they want. The only difference from most or many other first responder deaths that I've been in, funerals that I've been involved in, is her casket won't be draped with an American flag, but a Texas flag. And the reason for that difference is the only time that they have the right to the American flag is if it was an on-duty death, which we know this one was not, or if they were a military veteran, which I don't believe that Meredith was a military veteran. So in this instance, she'll be given the honor. Her family will be bestowed the honor of the Texas flag being presented to them by me at the funeral. No less honorable for sure.
I know you touched on it briefly, Sheriff, but this is a 20-year-old woman with her whole career ahead of her and aspirations. Can you just talk about how young she was and what a life was lost?
Yeah, JP, it's heartbreaking anytime a first responder loses their life, but one that's just barely starting out. I mean, this young lady had stars in her eyes, and the world was her oyster. She wanted to do a little bit of everything, right? And I was certainly in support of that. I always am. When it's my job to put forth the first responders of tomorrow, and I love seeing a young go-getter like that. That's just they want to do everything. They just want to put bad guys in jail and do good things. And certainly I'm always in favor of doing that. But when somebody in that situation, just out having a good time with, my understanding was some high school friends of hers that were not members of the agency, she's just out having a good time, as young people should be entitled to be. They're out getting burgers and donuts at 1:30 in the morning when this happened. That's certainly even more so of a heartbreak to know that because of most likely somebody's carelessness and intoxication, you see several lives cut short and certainly affected, families affected. In this instance, two families, her birth family and her family in blue, affected forever because of that.
Do we know anything as far as funeral dates or what's next for the family during this tragic time?
Well, we've been making arrangements with the family. I know that earlier today I put the dad, Mr. Portillo, in touch with one of the funeral homes that works with us quite a bit. And so I think those arrangements are forthcoming. I believe that tomorrow, and again, Johnny can correct me if I'm wrong on this, tomorrow there'll be an honor escort, I believe, from the medical examiner's office to the funeral home of the family's choice. And typically we do that. It's basically the same type of principle. There'll be a procession involved. And again, that's just one of the things that we do when a first responder passes.
¿Nos puede repetir los planes que tienen para mañana?
Sí, ahorita no se sabe 100% los planes del funeral, pero sí se sabe que esos arreglos ya están en proceso. Yo personalmente puse al padre de Meredith, el señor Portillo, lo puse en contacto con una funeraria que nosotros trabajamos mucho con ellos. Ellos ahorita están poniéndose de acuerdo con esos planes, pero sí se sabe que mañana, me parece que a las 10, y Johnny me puede corregir si estoy equivocado, pero me parece que a las 10 aproximadamente vamos a tener procesión del médico forénsico hasta la funeraria. Nosotros, nuestros oficiales van a estar acompañando el cuerpo. Eso es una de las ceremonias que nosotros hacemos como oficiales. Y pues obviamente nos da mucho orgullo poder estar ahí con nuestra hermanita ya cuando le estamos llevando para allá.
She has a brother that's a deputy. Given that this is his sister, what is being done for him mentally and through the department?
So we've got 2 specialized teams that are trained up, and they're deputies. The one team that we have, which I call them kind of the internal folks, is peer support. Our peer support deputies, that's something that Dr. Brandy Burke, she was our psychologist for some time. She helped establish that team. But peer support in a nutshell is they're deputies that are trained to do support in situations like this. But usually the claim to fame is these are deputies that have, for lack of a better term, they've been there, done that. They've seen some things. They've been in some situations. So, for example, if we have an officer, a deputy that is having a hard time dealing with a divorce, we've got peer support deputies that we know that's their expertise because they've been there. So we'll put the 2 together and say, hey, here's your peer support deputy. He or she has been through a similar situation, or God forbid, the loss of a child, or in this case, the loss of a sibling, the loss of a coworker. And so we've got peer support working with her coworkers, her shift, adjacent shifts that she may have worked with as well, classmates. So as you can imagine, there's a whole lot of young people that are affected by this, and the peer support team is doing just that. The other specialized team that we have is a team that we call family assistance deputies. They kind of work in concert with the peer support, but they do things a little bit different. Family assistance is there to see to the needs of the family. In the event of a catastrophic injury, a prolonged illness, or in this case, Meredith's death, we're there to deal with everything from helping make funeral arrangements, let them know what benefits are available to them as a result of a death, sometimes natural death, in this instance, not a natural death. They walk them through making the insurance claims, any of that sort of thing. Again, helping with funeral arrangements. Helping them to know what services are available from the part of the sheriff's office. So, honor guard, the mounted patrol riderless horse, what kind of music would they like at the funerals? So the family assistance team is there very much to do that at the same time that the peer support team is doing this other operation, helping with the internal part of it.
You said that she was out to go get some snacks and food with friends, but unfortunately it was at 1:30 in the morning. Just your thoughts on being out late at night and on the road and risks that come with that, whether you're out drinking or if you're just out to go pick up something from the gas station, or so be it.
Well, look, my wife and I, we shared the same. We've got 2 20-somethings as well. I'm a girl dad. They don't listen to me when I give advice, as anybody that's a parent of teens or 20-somethings can attest to. But the best advice that I always give them is, look, nothing good happens after midnight. And that's not because I think you, my child, is up to something bad, or you, my deputy, is up to something bad. But you got to think about what's the other guy doing, right? And so in this instance, this young lady and her friends, they were just out having a good time, what young kids do at that age. And certainly I can understand. You're young, you think you're going to live forever, nothing's going to happen to you, and you just want to go out and have fun. And so, yeah, absolutely, they were out getting burgers and getting donuts at that hour, just doing what young people do, having a good time. But unfortunately for them, there was somebody on the road that it looks like probably did not make the best decisions that night. And, unfortunately, that one person's horrible decisions led to several deaths and a lot of people's lives being affected adversely. So again, I just use this as an opportunity to remind young kids, look, we don't think that you're going to go out and get in trouble intentionally, but just remember there's people out there that are making horrible decisions, and their horrible decisions could, quite frankly, affect your life adversely or end up killing you at a very young age. And so that when we as parents or as bosses say that, that's what we mean by it.
How is the department helping the family as far as are there any fundraisers in process?
So interestingly enough, I'm at the Sheriff's Conference in Fort Worth. Today, I met some organizations that are very much interested in helping us out with fundraising. I actually met earlier this morning a very nice man that I've looked up to my entire life, Randy White, former Dallas Cowboy, and his folks heard about what had happened to Meredith, and they just preliminarily said, oh my gosh, we'd like to help you if you do any fundraising for her. So I'm probably going to be taking them up on that. It's a very nice offer, and I don't know what the logistics of what that's going to need to look like, but certainly, we're always there to accept the help of the community. Absent any sort of fundraising efforts, we can certainly utilize the support and love of the community. Anytime we do a first responder funeral, it's usually going to draw a long funeral procession. If it's any indicator from my fellow sheriffs that I've been getting comments from here in Fort Worth, a lot of them have heard about Meredith's untimely passing, and they're probably going to be sending some teams out to support us. So we would ask the community, please feel free to come out and support, that effort. At the very least, be patient with us as we do our funeral procession. It's going to be a lengthy one, but certainly it's appropriate for you all to show not just Meredith and her family, but all first responders how you support us. We certainly welcome that.
Can you tell us any more about her brother, his name and title, like what he does, how long he's been in the force?
Well, he's a detention deputy as well. I probably will not part with much more information than that at this point, just out of respect for the family. We haven't really spoken to them or prepared them or the other deputy for that. But certainly as it becomes appropriate to do so, and once I get their blessing to do that, I'll share that information. But he hasn't been long with us for very long either. Maybe just a tad bit longer than Meredith had. I believe he recruited her to come join, which we see that actually happen a lot. We get a lot of younger siblings come on, sometimes older siblings, recruited by the younger. We've actually had parents get recruited by a young deputy before, and so it's certainly always a great family dynamic for us. But again, as we're able to share that information, we absolutely will. Any other questions, y'all?
Any ages on the passengers she was with? I'm assuming they're all in their 20s or late teens.
They were all young kids. JP, I don't have specifics in front of me on their ages, but my understanding is that their connections to Meredith was they were all high school friends of hers. So right about the same age as her.
And then just double checking, no ID or age on the F-150 driver.
I don't have that information available. You probably have to get that from the SAPD.
Understood. Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Okay. Well, listen, I appreciate you guys covering this for us. Certainly, I'm in touch with the family. I'm in touch with our family assistance people. My command staff's been keeping in touch with the family as well. So I'm pretty confident that by probably this time tomorrow, we'll certainly have a whole lot of the funeral arrangements planned out and scheduled. We will put that out as soon as we possibly can. But again, we're asking the community to definitely show your support for your first responders. Certainly for young Deputy Portillo. This one's a tough loss like they all are. But, you know, I want if nothing else, the takeaway here should be that Meredith was like a lot of other of your first responders, just proud to wear that uniform and proud to serve in whatever capacity that she could. You know, I firmly believe that anybody that wears this badge, you know, at whatever age, is already a hero to begin with. As such, they deserve to be laid to rest and remembered as a hero. And